Good evening. I am Gina Hogan, Dean of Language Arts and Library. Welcome to our meet and greet event, and thank you for attending. We are very excited to share with you information about our communications, literature, and languages programs. And here to provide an overview of our Guided Pathways CAP are two of our amazing counselors, Lisa Villa and Natalie Desimoni. Take it away, ladies.
Thank you, Gina. Hello, everybody. My name is Lisa Villa, and I'm a counseling faculty here at Citrus College. I just want to take a minute to share with you an overview of Guided Pathways and what we call CAPs. So first off, you might be wondering, what exactly is a CAP? Well, CAP stands for Career in Academic Pathways. They can kind of be thought of as like a bigger umbrella major that encompasses more specific academic programs and a focus of study. A few years ago, we identified something we call meta majors, which are essentially majors that have common threads. For instance, under this particular CAP, communication, literature, and languages, you'll find majors such as journalism, foreign languages, speech, etc. So a CAP is a collection of academic majors that have related coursework. CAPs provide more structure and even a specific roadmap or pathway, the end goal of which is to help students complete all of their requirements as efficiently as possible. My colleague Natalie will talk to you more about what those pathways might look like in just a moment. And speaking of my colleague, every CAP has what we call a success team, and that's made up of counselors, faculty, and administrators. Our job on the success team is to ensure we are constantly monitoring how well your program is going and taking any feedback along the way to simplify your journey while you're at Citrus College. The two counselors assigned to this particular CAP, that would be me and also my colleague Natalie, can help you with questions regarding specific courses you'll need to register for term to term and what to do if your schedule needs to be adjusted along the way. In general, you should always feel free to reach out to any member of the success team with your questions. And with that, I will turn it over to Natalie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Natalie Desimoni, and I am one of the career counselors here at Citrus. Career counselors are here to help you with exploring different majors, maybe connecting majors with career. Maybe you know what major you want, but you're not quite sure where to take it, or you have a few majors in mind and you want to talk through them. We're here for you to talk through some of those questions. We also can help you with your resume, interview prep, cover letters, all kinds of great stuff. So we definitely encourage you to come and see it. As Lisa was mentioning, each CAP hosts a variety of degrees. I'm going to show you those right now. You'll see here, these are our CAPs. These are our different CAPs where you'll find all of our major certificates and skill awards. In the Communication, Languages, and Literature CAP, you will find the following degrees. Now, part of the rationale and how we took all the programs offered at Citrus and grouped them, part of that was about career and the fact that a lot of times different majors have a lot of crossover career paths. So within communications, we have the transfer degree in communication studies and journalism, and we have a certificate in writing competency, along with a skill award in journalism. In lit and languages, we have transfer degrees in English and Spanish, and we have traditional associate degrees in English Lit, liberal arts and humanities, and certificates in English as a second language. To learn more about a transfer degree versus a traditional degree, definitely reach out to Lisa or myself, and we can break all that down for you. So we're glad you're here today. And I'm now going to turn it back over to Dr. Hogan, who's going to introduce our faculty.
Thank you, Natalie. It is my pleasure to introduce our first faculty member representing the Communication Journalism program, Mr. Patrick Schmidt.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for giving me a little bit of your time today. I appreciate it. What I'm here to do today is talk a little bit about the comm area of the CAP that was just explained to you. And we have a lot of variety of different things that we do in our area. But before we get too deep into all of the cool things that we do at Citrus, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I care deeply about journalism. That's me. I'm on the right side, not the left side. And this is me being a sports reporter. I was a sports reporter for 5 years before I got into teaching, and I've been teaching journalism now for more than a decade and helping students to explore this pathway and do some cool stuff. I've been doing journalism stuff longer than I haven't been doing journalism stuff. It goes all the way back to high school, on my high school paper, on my high school yearbook, and in college on my college paper, and eventually getting my journalism degree to pursue this pathway as it is. And Citrus can help you on that career path. And there's a bunch of different career pathways in the communication area. Comm degree is really, really versatile. Of course, there's journalism, but there's also public relations, which is a huge and growing field. Broadcasting, working in social media. I just saw 4 social media jobs come up in the last 24 hours that I'm going to send to a former student of mine who's graduating soon. It's a really growing field. Working in development, doing things like maybe working for a college, doing those kinds of things. Of course, advertising is a huge industry. And then there's so many more things you can do. If you can communicate well and efficiently, and you can write efficiently, you can do a lot of different things. And that's really what we focus on in the comm area, is helping you build those skills. The actual program at Citrus, we have several classes, and you can see we have a variety of different subject areas. And it starts with our COM 100, which is our mass media and society, which introduces you to the wide world of mass communication and what that all entails. From there, we get a little bit more specific into kind of each different area. We have obviously classes on reporting and writing, public relations, popular culture, film, visual communication, multimedia reporting, and one of our newest classes, social media. We actually have an entire class on social media, which is pretty cool. Right? Those are some of our baseline courses that we have in our program that really help you get a feel for what the subjects are and also what you can do with them in a career. Right? We also have 4 classes in our program that are specifically dedicated to student media and student publications. We have 2 student-run media outlets on our campus. One is the Clarion newspaper, the other is Logos magazine. The Clarion newspaper and website are tied to COM 240, and the Logos magazine is tied to class COM 280. We also have COM 230, which is design for media. It's where we learn how to design pages and build infographics and all kinds of other cool things that we do visually in this arena. And then we also have COM 103, which is a 1-credit freelance journalism class, which allows students to participate in both the magazine and the newspaper. There's a lot of really neat, interesting, flexible, cool things that we do in this area, and it leads to, again, a lot of different career paths. I've said it, I think, already about 6 or 7 or 8 times today, but I've said the word cool. I think it's a really interesting area. I've obviously dedicated my career to it. Maybe you can dedicate a semester to it, see what it's all about, and explore it with me and explore it with your fellow students and see what's possible. I appreciate your time today. Thanks for having me for at least a few minutes.
Thank you, Patrick. Next, representing the English program are our wonderful faculty, Amber Durfield and Suzanne Martinez.
My screen, and we'll talk to you a little bit about what it means to get the associate degree for transfer in English.
I am Suzanne Martinez, full-time English faculty, and the required courses for an English degree are 101 or 101E, which is the reading composition. And 101 is a 4-unit class. 101E is enhanced with additional support for 5 units. The other class you need is 102, which is Introduction to Literature. And then the last one is 104, which is argumentative writing, which critically evaluates argument.
Similar to what Patrick was sharing, there are so many careers that you can pursue as an English major. And in fact, Suzanne and I both have had quite a lot of variety in our individual careers. So teaching and education is what a lot of people think about first when they think about getting an English degree. And, rightly so, that's very common for an English major to go into teaching, K through 12. But beyond that, there's teaching at the community college or university level. There's also teaching English as a second language, which is a possibility if you pursue an English degree. Going into media and journalism is another possibility. And I myself worked as a newspaper reporter and editor for a brief time. A lot of English majors go into law or pre-law. There's the entertainment industry as well, where being able to communicate effectively, to disseminate a clear message is really important in the entertainment industry. Suzanne, would you like to speak to the human resources and the management side of things?
Yes, thank you. So as Amber mentioned, obviously we are both full-time English faculty, but we have both had full careers before this, before coming into teaching English. I had 3 careers before working for Citrus as an English instructor. The first one, I was in management at Albertsons, and with each degree that I earned, I was able to continue moving up in different positions. And then when I finished my bachelor's degree in English, I was able to transition to the district office and then become a trainer for California as far as customer service. And that was because of my degree in English. So having an English degree is very versatile, and it helps with many things, as well as your written as well as verbal communication skills. The next one is listed there as social services. I actually also worked for an adoption agency as the education coordinator, and I was able to do that as well due to my bachelor's degree in English. And I was able to run the programs for the adoption agency. The last one, in public service, I had a different career at Citrus. I was a grant coordinator and a basic skills coordinator, which required a master's degree in English. And for that, I had that for 5 years at Citrus, and I was able to run different support services and different programs that were funded through the grant projects as well as through basic skills. So you are able to do many more careers than maybe what comes first to mind of being an English instructor. Amber and I have shown that we've had several different careers. And you worked in public services and social services as well, right, Amber?
Yes, I did. I worked for the Department of Child Support Services for the County of San Bernardino for a while. And again, my skills that I gained as an English major really helped me in terms of interacting with our clientele, being able to file legal paperwork, and lots of different things that I was doing at that agency. My English degrees really helped me in that way. So, in conclusion, like we've mentioned a couple times throughout this little talk, it's not just about Shakespeare and sonnets, which is what most people think about when they think English major. Although we do love Shakespeare, we do love sonnets, that is part of it. That's part of what you'll study, but the skills that you'll gain and the variety of careers that are open to you are really, really do go beyond sort of the stereotypical English related things. Thanks very much, and I'll hand it back over to Dr. Hogan.
Thank you, Amber and Suzanne. And now, here to represent the Spanish program, Dr. Ana Afzali.
Hello, everybody. I am delighted to be here. Let me share my screen, and thank you, Gina, for inviting me to participate. I am delighted to see all of you here. What to do with a Spanish degree? What do you think you would want to do with it? Well, you could also get into education. I was a junior high and high school teacher for a little while, and that was a lot of fun. Or you could also teach at a college or a university. Law, we have lots of students who either want to be police officers, probation officers, or attorneys. Attorneys use Spanish quite a bit. So that would be super useful if that is something that you are intending to do later on. One of the largest numbers of students that I have are nursing students. When you apply to get into a nursing program, it goes through a point system. And one of those points, if you would, is Spanish. So if you have Spanish, you're able to get a lot easier into the nursing program, number one. But then once you are a nurse or any kind of medical personnel, you will be surprised how much you will be using Spanish, and you will be very grateful to have this background. Social work, the population of Spanish speakers in California, it's exploding. 2/3 of the population of the state are now Spanish speakers. So when it comes to all of these public service type of work, you will be using it a lot. And that's not only true for California, it's true for Florida, Texas, and a lot of other states in the country. A lot of our students want to be court translators, which is something that we can start preparing you for with our degree. Lots of nonprofit organizations do work in Latin America. And when they hire here in Los Angeles, they want to have people that are able to not only speak Spanish, but also write it and read it well. Of course, into politics, if you can't reach Hispanics, you're not going to get votes. So it's amazing to be able to get into politics and have that kind of background. And of course, there is entertainment. Right. So these are some of the things that you can do with a Spanish degree. I am originally from Spain. I was born and raised there. And when I came here, I started working in the business world. I use Spanish quite a bit. And then I decided that I have a major passion for teaching. And that's when I started teaching junior high and high school before I came to Citrus College almost 25 years ago. It's hard to believe. So what are some of the Spanish courses that you're going to have to take? Well, the ones that you have to take that are required, you will be taking Spanish 101, 102. We have 101 and 102, both regular and honors. And then Spanish 201 and 202. And then if you're a heritage speaker, if you speak Spanish at home, it's interesting because a lot of times students think that just because they speak Spanish at home, they know Spanish. And the truth is that they have a real hard time writing it correctly. They don't know where to put the accents. They can't read it well. And then there are many things about the culture they still don't know. So we have that program that started in the year 2001 at Citrus College and has been hugely successful ever since. Something else that we've started fairly recently is we have taken Spanish 210 and 211 and put it in 8-week sessions. And so students are actually able to complete a full year of Spanish in just one semester, which is amazing. We get excited when you're able to get your degrees quickly and move on and reach your goals in life, right? So aside from the required courses for Spanish, where, by the way, I meant to say you do get a lot of practice with speaking and listening, besides just getting the grammar that everybody else offers too, right? So you will also have to choose one of these classes. We have a number of history classes. We have Spanish and humanities. It's a cross-listed course, so you can apply those credits for one or the other. 127, which is the history of Spain from the beginning to today. That's a lot of fun. And students are usually surprised how related our history in America, both in the United States and South America, is actually related to the history there. We also have History 130, 131, and 132, which is history of Latin America. If you just want to concentrate in the history of Mexico, then you can take History 145, or you could choose to take Speech 100, which is interpersonal communication. That's a very popular course as well. And you'll be hearing from Nicole a little bit later about that class. And then we have, of course, English 271 and 72, which is an introduction to world literature. And for those of you who prefer going into numbers, we have Accounting 101, which is financial accounting. So for us, it's really, really important that you experience the culture of Spain and Latin America, that you become fluent as much as you possibly can. And so we have a wonderful program of Spanish in Spain every spring. In the past, we have done it in Barcelona. We have done it in Salamanca. In 2019, we did it in Seville. It was very popular. And I believe that the next one will be in Madrid, where our students get to spend 3 months there and live with a family or in their own apartment. But they, when you're immersed, when I came to this country, I didn't speak a word of English. And so I went to the state of Maine, and in 3 months, I was completely fluent. I still have an accent, but I was completely fluent in Spanish. And that's what happens to our students when they go there. And they also become kind of sort of citizens of the world because they travel all over the country. They meet a lot of new people. So I believe it's an amazing experience for all of the students to have. So I have included here their website if you want to see it. There's a lot of funding available too. So most students don't actually pay the full cost of what it costs to go to Spain. And so I would like to let you know that I'm fully available for any questions that you may have, whether it's about the program in general of getting a major in Spanish, how I may be of help to you for you to reach your goals, getting a degree in Spanish. And here's my email. I am only one email away, so just contact me anytime you want to, and I'll be here. And with that, I will send it back.
Thank you, Dr. Afzali. Please welcome Ms. Nicole Ari, representing the speech program.
Thank you, Dr. Hogan. Hello, everyone. I'm Nicole Ari, speech faculty here at Citrus. So nice to see everyone. So I've got some celebrities up here. Do you recognize these folks? Believe it or not, they do have something in common besides the fact that they're famous. They're all comm majors. Spike Lee and Carrie Underwood got their degree emphasizing mass communications, but Oprah Winfrey focused on speech communication, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. And the first thing I want to clear up is a misconception that I found teaching speech classes and talking to students. When they come into class, they oftentimes think all we're going to do is study public speaking, and it's so much more than that. Students learn about applying the theories and principles of human communication to become more effective, competent communicators in a variety of contexts. And overall, speech communication students are taught to think deeply about how communication processes relate to their lives and to today's important issues. Yes, public speaking is a big part of it, but it's a lot more than that. And here are some of the courses that we offer at Citrus College in speech communication. Starting with Speech 100, Dr. Afzali had mentioned interpersonal communication, and this class focuses specifically on relationships and the communication that takes place in relationships. We look at perception, nonverbal communication, listening, language, culture, conflict management, and how to overcome barriers to effective communication. In Speech 101, this is where we really focus a lot on public speaking. Students learn how to research, organize, and present an effective public presentation. In Speech 103, students study the theories and principles of argumentation and debate as applied to current societal issues. And then Speech 106 focuses on the theories and principles of effective group communication. And then last, Speech 150, students learn about the impact of culture on communication, and the primary focus of the class is to enhance intercultural competence. So why did I choose to study speech? I began my educational journey at Orange Coast College, and then I transferred to Cal State Fullerton. And like many students, I had a tough time choosing my major. My problem wasn't that I didn't like my classes. I actually liked everything, and I was having a hard time really narrowing it down and making a commitment to what it was I wanted to major in. And as I was taking my general ed, I took a few elective classes in speech communication, and I loved those classes. They ended up being my favorite courses because I saw myself grow so much throughout the course of the semester. I gained more confidence. I learned how to overcome public speaking anxiety. I could see a direct impact between what I learned in class and how I could apply it to my life, from enhancing my ability to communicate at work, in my relationships, and even when I went on a job interview. I ended up majoring in speech because I wanted to continue to strengthen my communication skills and continue having fun in my classes. Speech classes are always very interactive and engaging, and I actually even met some friends that I'm still friends with to this day in speech classes that I took. And something that I learned about when I was at Cal State Fullerton was an organization called the National Association of Colleges and Employers. This is a great resource if you haven't checked it out. It's a nonprofit organization that works to bring together companies that will be hiring lots of employees. So they're looking for employees, and they try to connect them with college graduates. Each fall, NACE conducts a job outlook survey where they forecast hiring trends for the upcoming year's graduating class. And they produce what we call the top 10 skills employers are seeking in potential candidates. And I've been looking at this list for many years now, since I was in college, and then I share it with my students. And it's interesting to see how the skills that employers are seeking kind of fluctuate. But guess what's always on this list? It may not be in the same position right now, position 4, communication skills. Sometimes it goes a little bit higher. It's usually within the top 5, but most of these, if you look at them, really can relate to communication as well. So in conclusion, why study speech communication? Anyone in any major will benefit from learning more about speech communication and developing their communication skills, from public speaking to learning how to communicate better in relationships, overcoming barriers, becoming more competent intercultural communicators in a variety of contexts, and even interviewing for a job. And then this will help you once you get the job with communicating with clients and coworkers. So thank you all for being here today, and I hope to see you in class.
Thank you, Nicole, and thanks to all the faculty for sharing their perspectives about our programs. Now I'd like to turn it over to Stephanie to share the student perspective about our programs. Take it away, Stephanie.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm Stephanie Nicosia, and I'm a sophomore here at Citrus College, and I just wanted to share my educational journey with you really quickly. I originally enrolled to Citrus College in 2008, right after graduating from high school. I was unsure of what I really wanted to do, and I did flounder a little bit. I will admit I did not properly utilize the counseling resources, and in the end, I ended up getting my certificate in dental assisting. And I did have a very fruitful career as a dental professional for 10 years. In 2015, I moved to Alaska for an adventure, and I fell in love with photography while I was living there. When I came back home to Glendora in 2019, I enrolled back to Citrus College, but this time I realized how many great resources that Citrus has to help me make an educational plan and to succeed. So I made a student education plan with goals to achieve my certificate and my associate's degree in photography. While in one of my photo classes, the Clarion newspaper team came in and extended invitations to their open house. It was serendipitous for me as I did join as a cub reporter, and I was able to utilize my coordinating and teamwork skills. I did become art editor for a semester at the newspaper, and then I further branched out to become editor-in-chief of Logos magazine for a semester. After taking some speech courses that Nicole was talking about as part of my general ed, I realized that I really enjoyed communication studies. Currently, I am finishing my final 2 courses to obtain my associate's in photography, but also my associate's degree for transfer in communication studies. There is so much that you can do in communications, as Patrick and Amber and Suzanne have all touched upon. Whether you're introverted or extroverted, there's something for everyone. And examples of some careers that we've kind of discussed are the freelance journalism, writing and reporting, content editing for your local news or media, social media managing, event planning, human resources, health educator, brand managing, or even a sales representative. So in closing, I just want to encourage you students to keep an open mind and an open eye for all the opportunities and the clubs and all the resources that really are available here to you at Citrus. And just to remind you that the faculty really wants to see you succeed and that they are there for you to help you achieve and realize all your goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. And here to tell us more about the student perspective and to represent the Writing Center, it is my pleasure to introduce Ariel and Hannah.
So like Dr. Hogan said, my name is Ariel Del Rosario.
And I'm Hannah Wallach.
And today we're going to be talking about the Writing Center as well as some opportunities that we've had as both students and employees. So the main thing that we're going to talk about today is the Writing Center. So the Writing Center is a place where students can go for writing tutoring and support. And it's not just for English classes, even though a lot of students believe that. We help with all courses relating to writing and also speech, communications, any non-STEM subjects we can also help with. And we have 4 main types of tutoring. So the first type of tutoring that we offer is online tutoring. And online tutoring actually didn't start until COVID hit, and we kind of had to figure out how we were going to help and support our students online. So online tutoring is available Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And this is all online via Zoom, and you're able to meet with the tutor one-on-one or in a group setting. In addition, we also are offering in-person tutoring Monday through Thursday from 2 to 6 p.m. And that's in P1 109, which is the portable right next to cosmetology and the math building. In addition, we have question and essay drop-off. So in this type of tutoring, we really wanted to use this to reach out to students who weren't available during our regular business hours. But the way this works is students can send us their emails or send us any questions or essays that they have relating to writing, and a tutor will respond usually within 24 hours, answering their questions and giving them feedback on their essay. And then last, but definitely not least, is our embedded tutoring program. So our embedded tutoring program is when we put tutors directly into a course, specifically the English 101E courses, to both assist professors and also students. And I think this is the most fruitful of the tutoring services for both tutors and students, just because we're right there for you. You don't have to go anywhere or do anything in addition. And this has been really helpful for both students and tutors. And now Hannah's going to talk a little bit about tutoring opportunities.
So there are some tutoring opportunities available, and one of the main ones is becoming a tutor, which the Writing Center is currently hiring for this position if you're interested. Some of the requirements for becoming a tutor include having an A or B in the course of study. So that's whether it's English, communication, speech, and so on. You will also need a recommendation letter from a professor who teaches that subject. So there are quite a few benefits of becoming a tutor. One of them is receiving the CRLA level 1 and 2 certification. CRLA stands for College Reading and Learning Association, and this helps you learn skills on how to be a tutor. It also adds experience to your resume, as well as builds essential skills such as communication skills, active listening skills, and working with diverse groups of students, just to name a few. And another benefit is you can explore your interest in teaching and see if that is also a career path for you, which is kind of what Ariel and I did. So if you're interested in becoming a tutor, please feel free to reach out to us. And now I'm going to hand it back to Ariel and let her talk about her experience at the Writing Center, as well as her educational background.
Thank you, Hannah. So like I said, Hannah and I were both students at Citrus College, just like Stephanie. So we experienced a lot of things that you guys are going through right now. Currently, my role is a lab supervisor. So basically, I work with faculty members to figure out what the Writing Center and the Learning Center can do to best support you guys as students. But I've been here for a very long time. So I actually started as a student tutor. One of my instructors suggested that I apply to be a Writing Center tutor, and I listened to her, and I have been here ever since. So I worked as a student tutor, a professional expert, and now a lab supervisor. In addition, though, I've also taught English as a foreign language in China, and I'm currently teaching English as a second language and English in general at other community colleges. And for my education background, again, I got my AA in English from Citrus College. I transferred to UCLA, where I got my bachelor's degree. And then I went to Cal Poly Pomona, where I got my master's degree in teaching English as a second language. And now I'm going to turn it back to Hannah to talk about her experience.
So I'm currently a professional expert, where I mostly do embedded tutoring, online tutoring now, and as well as create and lead workshops. But also, like Ariel, before that, I was a student tutor for about 1.5 years. And I also got a professor recommendation, and she encouraged me to become a tutor as well. So during that time, like Stephanie, I was also on the Clarion, where Patrick was my moderator, which was also an amazing experience, where it kind of confirmed my love for communication. But I'm also, this is my second year of being a professional expert, and I'm actually currently embedded in Professor Aries and Professor Durfield's classes right now, which is awesome. And I've also been embedded in Professor Suzanne Martinez's class as well in the past. So these professors have been extremely supportive and helpful in my educational journey, especially when I was at San Francisco State for my bachelor's and getting my master's at Arizona State as well. So it's been such a great experience working at the Writing Center. It's just amazing working with the professors also within this CAP. So thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions for us for the Writing Center, please feel free to reach out to us through our email. So thank you.
Thank you, Ariel and Hannah. And on behalf of the entire panel present on this Zoom, as well as the Communications, Literature, Languages CAP, I want to thank you for your attention and your time. And I hope that you will consider a major in any of the areas that you heard about tonight or today. Please reach out to our faculty, students, or counselors. We are happy to answer any of your questions, and we wish you best of luck in all your future endeavors, and take care. Thank you for your time.